I've just finished playing Aim Assault on PCVR and Quest for today's video, and before I start telling you all this is Time Crisis for VR, there's definitely some things I feel are missing for that to be true. And we also need to acknowledge we've been here before with games stated as Time Crisis in VR, with honourable mentions to Dead Second, Crisis V Brigade, the sequel which then removed the terrible V Brigade bit and named itself Crisis Brigade 2, which was basically better in every single way to the original, and even Operation Warcade, which are all good VR arcade style shooters. And these have also had the clickbait Time Crisis name attached to them in some way or another. And this obviously carries its own curse because these games aren't really like Time Crisis at all, apart from being an on-the-rail shooter. However, as a fan of House of the Dead, Virtual Cop and obviously Time Crisis, which by the way I still play from time to time in MUVR, Aim Assault really leans into being exactly what it's trying to be, and that is a Time Crisis clone. Even the logo is exactly the same, and you have the legendary G-Con red and blue guns, and I have to say after going through this relatively short but very customizable arcade shoot 'em up, this is about as close as we will ever get to actually getting a Time Crisis style game in VR without Namco actually doing it themselves. So in today's video I'm going to cover the good, the bad, graphical comparisons between PCVR and Quest, and then give you my final thoughts. And do me a favour and take a second to hit the like button, as this really helps the video grow. So let's get into the good. There's lots of weapons to unlock via shooting parrots and melons throughout the 10 missions, and the items you need to shoot are actually quite difficult to spot most of the time due to the intense action and debris flying all over the place, and the AI is actually quite a good shot. You get 5 health containers and there's usually 2 extra hidden on the levels, and one thing I really like is that the action comes from all around you on certain stages. It's not just about looking forward and everything falling in front of your eye line, and that's especially true when it comes to the last few bosses. Some of this game can be played seated, but overall standing is the way to play it because you'll need to be squatting and spinning on the spot, and the final boss sees you literally spinning around in 360, which is very cool in my opinion. There's also shooting gallery style challenges, and all of this content has online leaderboards. Now in terms of Aim Assault's replayability, this can be quite hard to judge, because if you're the sort of player who genuinely wants to get the best accuracy in times and then go about trying to unlock all the different guns, and also playing on the ultra hard mode which gives you no extra lives at all, plus messing around between dual wielding and single-handed mode, I feel you will actually get a lot of replayability out of this one for the reasonable price of $18. As for negatives, there's really not that much to say apart from how incredibly short it is for a first time playthrough. On normal difficulty, this game only lasts around 30 minutes at best. The end of level congratulations screen is really not in line with the rest of the game, suddenly switching vibes from being a fast paced, almost realistic action shooter to hearing some happy sound effects and fireworks going on, reminding you this is in fact a very indie developed game.
Success.
And the worst bit out of all of this is the awful AI voices that only bring the experience down a little bit further, but honestly all of that is pretty forgivable considering how cool the rest of the game is, and I do feel I'm nitpicking. Graphically the PCVR version is great, with tons of effects, nice shiny guns, lots of particle effects, tons of debris, and there's just stuff breaking all around you and it can be hard to actually see what you're doing. The explosions are nice, you get water on your face, and the interactions in the environment are really cool, like shooting glass out of the president's plane's window.
Stage clear.
Action.
Oh, you can blow the bloody,
Reload.
blow the windows out. That's fucking cool.
And again, that's just really nice to see in a VR game that everything does have some sort of destructible element to it, and this just makes the game very satisfying to play. Overall, it's great to look at on the highest settings on PCVR, but I'm pleased to say the Quest version feels like a miracle of a port 90% of the time. There is some moments of slowdown, especially in the parts where the bosses appear, and you're missing bloom effects. The guns don't look quite as shiny, and you definitely get some better textures on the PC version, but the destruction of the levels, all the debris I mentioned earlier, and overall the action is exactly the same, and I think the developers have done an excellent job of making use of both platforms' strengths. And since this is also playable on Quest 2, Quest 3 users can probably squeeze some extra higher frame rate or a higher resolution using Quest Optimizer. Overall, Aim Assault is an excellent arcade on the rails VR shooter that only falls short on content in terms of actual levels to play and new things to see. One level will see you running one way to the end, and the next you'll be running back, potentially carrying the president or the president's daughter. But luckily, both are bulletproof. But the devs have said more content is coming, and for this reason, I easily give Aim Assault a buy recommendation. I haven't enjoyed a VR arcade shooter this much in quite some time. So that's all I've got for you today. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.
Reload.